right, ladies and gentlemen. Some music. There you go. Welcome to HIIT Blogging. How are you guys doing? Hi Mukul. Hi Jyoti Rupa. Hi Drishan. Yashpal. Hi Ekta. Hi Unesh. Hajira. Nivedita. Sarvanan. Meenakshi. Shiv. Kanan. Fantastic. Hey Shweta. Hey Ajay. Ritu. Tanuja. Rajgopal. Mukul, Vidya, hi, fantastic. How was your experience with copywriting? Let me know in the chat. Enjoyed it? Started reading The Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan Kennedy. Fantastic. Massive, exhaustive. Really enjoyed writing it. Long, but enjoyed it. Fantastic. Great. Interesting. You make me take action on long procrastinating tasks, Unesh. That's the idea of this program. Fantastic. Guys, before you type it in, make sure you change the settings to panelists and attendees and not just panelists. Only I am able to see all of your chat, and I want everyone else to like see what you're writing, what you're typing in, and basically engage with each other also. Sonali says it was a great experience. Fantastic. Good stuff, guys. Amazing stuff. Do you think that it changed the way you look at copywriting? It changed the way you look at creating content itself. When you understand how to create content and how to write, keeping your user in mind. And tell me this, do you feel that it is much easier said than done after you actually started writing it? Just give me a quick yes or no in the chat box. It's easier said than done, right? It is easier said than done, right? So, and it obviously takes a lot of practice for you guys to get it right. But I want you to answer my next question very honestly, okay? How many people actually started writing it yesterday? Okay, Unes, thank you for your honesty. Mukul, thank you for your honesty. Hajira, Yashpal, Meenakshi, Tanuja, Asha, every one of you has started writing this yesterday night. Started on Tuesday. Okay. This week, basically. How many people started writing it this week? Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. There is absolutely no way that you will be able to write a long form copy in just one day. Okay, so let me tell you that there is absolutely no way you'll be able to write a long form landing page copy in just one day. So if you want to not just landing page long form copy, any piece of content, regardless of what you're going to write in this program, which is exactly why I've given you 1 week's time to complete it. If you guys start writing a day before your assignment submission, your quality is going to get affected, because what you will try to do is all you will try to do is finish the assignment. And I don't mind giving you the cash back for that, because we don't assess your content or your whatever you're doing qualitatively. The idea is to like get you to write in the first place. I know there are tons of things that you need to be doing. I know that there's so many things happening in your life around you and everything. But if you start writing it just a day before, there is absolutely no way you will be able to finish it in the given time. Okay, so there is 7 days. As soon as we finish the session, I strongly recommend that you guys starting writing it on the weekend. Okay, so unless you start writing it on the weekend, unless you sleep over it. So what I do, the way I write my copy is just that, it takes me good like a week, 10 days to come up with copy. Sometimes it takes more time for me to like write copy. And because the reason why it is first I try to understand my product, then I try to understand my users, then I do my first draft, sleep over it, come back, change it, edit it. I'm just like continuously thinking about it. If you don't give yourself time to think over it and like actually like allow it to sink in, you will not be able to like create good copy. Okay, I will guarantee you that. I think, as Rajgopal rightly said, 7 days is a reasonable amount of time for every single one of you to write. Would you guys agree with that? Just type in A in the chat box if you guys agree with that. Right? So please, for your own benefit, do not wait till the last date for you to start completing your assignment. This is in your interest only. This is to make sure you are not only just quantitatively writing it, qualitatively also you get the best effort out there. I cannot like make you guys or push you guys more than what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to do my best, and I know you guys are trying to do your best. But did I guys mention about Pepper content last week? Was it in SIT blogging or in my other program? I did, right? So if you do it like this, I'm definitely not confident to actually refer you guys if you do it like that. Because the other thing that is very important when you guys go out there when you're freelancing is to maintain deadlines, is to make sure you give quality work to your clients, to whoever you are working with, to your employers, to yourself also, right? If you start working the day before, it is not going to work. I can guarantee you that. Okay, if you want to improve your quality, you need to give yourself that extra time. So how many people would start working on your assignment from Saturday or from tomorrow, at least? If you started from tomorrow, it's going to be even better. Okay. And I'm telling this in your interest. Believe me when I say this. Okay. I'm not trying to like say this because I want you to complete the assignment and I want you to put your best foot forward, put in all the effort that you can. Okay, so only and only then will you be able to create amazing content and amazing copy. So having said that, I believe you guys have done a decent effort for your long form copy, but I can see it. I can like sense it, so to speak, that you guys like started writing it like the day before. So don't do that for the rest of the pieces of content that you'll be doing. Do it over the weekend and give yourself enough time to like think about it. The more you give yourself time to think about it, the better it is for you. Okay, and you believe me when I say this, the best idea you will get is when you're like say doing something completely different, like probably you're taking a shower or going for a walk. And sometimes I intentionally go for a walk just because of this, because I feel that for me walking is not an exercise. I do a completely different form of exercise. For me, walking is for thinking, right? It allows me to give that space to actually think about things that I want to think about. And like, when you're doing things like that, and if you don't give that space for yourself, it's not going to come out. I can guarantee you that. Okay. Everybody's on the same page with that. Just to like, I don't want to sound like I'm trying not to sound like your school teacher, wherein I'm like trying to punish you or anything. But, having said that, I also want to like push you to like give you that quality coming out of your content also. Okay, great. So I'm gonna like quickly go through some of the content that you guys have like copy that you guys have written. Again, I've like handpicked like randomly, not handpicked also. I've done it like randomly, taken out some of the content. And it was surprising to see that most of you have written copy for, courses and online content. And again, you guys are just like, most of you have like copied my exact format, which is okay, which is absolutely okay to do. But if you know how to write copy for different kinds of products, different kinds of services, you'll expand your sense of copywriting as well. Okay. So from now on, whenever I give you examples, please make sure you write it for as many different kinds of things as possible. Like improve your entire vision, so to speak, or your experience, so to speak, when it comes to copywriting. That'll actually, make your experience better also. Okay. So some of the assignments that we have. Agnes, do we have Agnes here? Agnes, if you're here, just let me know in the chat box. Give me a quick hi. Okay, I don't think she's here. Anyway, the best and simplest whiteboard animation software ever. Now, it's good. Now, what do you think could have been done better in this, and what do you think is the problem here? Do you guys want to like quickly tell me? Anybody wants to take a guess? Generic headline, absolutely correct, right? It's a very generic headline. Do you think when you read this, you are able to visualize what is happening over there? Or say, for example, forget about the headline, right? Even your subheading here that you're seeing here, create professional doodle videos, even if you have little to no design skills. I like the last part of it, but it's not helping them visualize as much, right? Very, very important that you use your headline and your subheading as effectively as possible. Okay. Now, create your own personal, all of this is correct. Now, another problem here. Can you guys like quickly read the introduction? And I gave this similar kind of feedback in the last session. Can you guys tell me, yes, Umesh got it already, right? Too many questions. Are you a YouTube creator? Are you a non-tech person? Are you tired of searching? Do you think? Do you need? Do you need? Are you looking for? Too many questions, right? I completely get lost. I don't have the patience to go through all of these things, which is why, so why has this happened? Can anyone tell me why has this happened? Can anyone tell me like why do you think this happened? Yes, Abhishek got it absolutely right. Customer avatar, right? There are too many customer avatars here. Agnes is trying to address too many customer avatars, which is why that she's like talking about asking too many questions. Okay. A YouTube creator, a non-tech person, someone who needs software tools, and someone who's like video creation and editing. I know this tool actually does for all of these things, but it is very important that you actually figure out who that one single person is. And if that question, even if you have questions, I don't mind. If you have like a couple of questions, it's okay. But that question should be addressed to the same person, right? So it should be like connected to each other. So that way it is going to be like much more better for, it should be like a sequential form of questions that will make it even more, you will grab people's attention. Okay. Doodly is a simple drag and drop animation video maker. Doodly helps you regardless of your tech skills or design skills. Really cool whiteboard animation to entertain and engage. We know that you're a beginner. Don't use V. Don't use V. I mean, you can use V, I think, because it's Doodly. So you can use V, but be very careful. If you're using V, make sure you're going to use V everywhere throughout the content or throughout the copy rather, right? And I don't see okay, this is everything that there is to this landing page copy. Do you think from what you quickly see, this landing page copy is following the structure that we discussed about? Let me know in the chat. Yes or no? Right? So I don't see too many of the I don't see it following the exact format, right? So there is like the problem is not like you need to identify that problem and aggravate that problem as much as possible. Okay, and then like you bring in the solution and all of those things. Jugular objection is also lacking. You're absolutely correct. All of those things is missing over here. But anyway, I like it. It's not too bad. Like I said, if Agnes had like put in some more effort, it could have been like much better. Okay, Bhavik, do we have Bhavik here? The Freedom Freelance Blueprint. Start freelancing the right way. I like the headline. It's good. It says that. So there is a verb, which is start the right way. It kind of like tells you that, you know what, hey, is there a wrong way to do it? Right? It kind of implies that. Learn the secrets, good word, to becoming a highly successful freelancer in the next 90 days. Although it is good, what do you think is missing here? Dushan, you might get it right with this one also. Jugular objection, right? What might be that objection that people might have to become a freelancer, right? it's a good subheading, to be very honest. Learn the secrets to becoming a highly successful freelancer in the next 90 days. There is a set time frame. Secret is a good word to use. Becoming a highly successful freelancer is good. All of that is good, but the jugular objection has not been addressed. Okay. Now, who doesn't dream of living a freedom lifestyle where you see yourself on the beach while you're drinking pina colada? Again, the sentence could be reframed properly. Freelancing provides you that opportunity, but my friend, dreaming is easy, hustle is hard. So the journey of 1,000 miles, and that is why building the business of your dream is a proven process and all of those things. But first things first, you need to get started. How do I get started? Where do I need to get started? Again, the problem is not being addressed properly. Would you guys agree with that? The problem has not been addressed, right? He's painting the dream, but the problem has not been addressed properly, right? Oh, it's here. Okay. More deciding or don't know how to get started. And that is also true for people who have been freelancing for some years now. We all start our freelancing journey with the goal of freedom in mind. Now, more than how do I get started? What do I need to get started? What do you think freelancers' problem is? The biggest problem for freelancers? Can anyone tell me? As a freelancer, getting clients. Yes, absolutely correct. So do you think that instead of talking about how to get started, could Bhavik here would have actually spoken about the problem of getting clients? That would have been actually a better problem to talk about. Would you guys agree with that? As potential freelancers that you guys want to be, right? When you talk about freelancing, you guys could have, Bhavik here could have actually spoken about, hey, I know that you're trying to look for clients. I know that you're scared of talking to your clients and closing this deals and going for sales and all of those kind of things. So, which is why, this is, I know this is a problem, right? So, if he had spoken about that, it would have had a much better impact in this case, right? Good. Solution is good. See, he's speaking about it. Attract more clients and increase your sales. The features and benefits is already there. Learning to pitch your freelance work to potential clients, amazing. Discover the mindset and productivity secrets, very good. Build a brand and promote your skills with these 10 easy steps, very good. Social proof, who is this course for? Social proof, guarantee, about all of that, all the elements are there. I think it's lacking some punch and it could have been slightly better. But having said that, not a bad effort at all. Like, just type in good stuff, Bhavik. Type in GS Bhavik in the chat box if you feel that this was not a bad effort at all, right? Sorry, you're right. The structured work of Bhavik is actually still good, right? It's like everybody, you need to like make sure you support each other. Good stuff, good stuff. Chiranjeev, do we have Chiranjeev in the house? Let me know. Okay, Chiranjeev is here. Now, this is the headline. Okay. Now, without actually reading what the, if you just read the headline, do you think you can understand what the product or service or the offering is? No. Ultimate success formula. Success for what? Right? Success for what? That is the clarity is missing here, Chiranjeev. You need to make sure that when you write your headline, try to address the product as much as possible, right? You could have like done slightly better job with your headline. I think that is what is missing here. Learn amazing techniques of Vedic math and be a pro-human calculator by developing interest for maths, even if you're a slow learner. I really, really like the word pro-human calculator, right? Learn amazing techniques of Vedic maths and be a pro-human calculator. That's really powerful. What do you guys think? The rest of you people. I think the word pro-human calculator or even the word human calculator is like very powerful, right? Learn amazing techniques of Vedic maths and be a human calculator by developing interest for maths. It almost like fizzled out, right? When you say that developing interest for maths, even if you are a slow learner. I think that part of your subheading could have actually been like slightly made better, right? You got it right with your human calculator. I can actually skip the whole developing interest for maths. Even if you're a slow learner, what do you think? Do you think that being a slow learner is actually the biggest problem for somebody who wants to learn math? Exactly, it's not, right? What do you guys think it is? Fear. Good. What kind of fear? Jyotirapa got it right, actually. Not lack of interest. Even if you don't like maths, would have been like actually much better. I could actually make it like, I could actually like go a little adventurous and say that learn amazing techniques of Vedic maths and be a human calculator, even if you hate maths. What about that? How do you guys think about that subheading? Right? Because so many people out there actually hate maths, right? It's not about like fearing math, they hate it. So that is, if you're like trying to be a little, controversial also, it's okay. It can actually like, it connects with people a lot more, right? And it's shorter too. Absolutely. Learn amazing techniques of Vedic maths and become a human calculator, even if you hate maths. See how nice, crisp, and short and like powerful it sounds. I really like the human calculator part, but I think you could have like done slightly better, right? I chose this one, Chiranjeev, and brings a smile to Kanan. Absolutely right. And it brings a smile because people will be able to relate to it, right? So this is a tricky one for you. So Chiranjeev, and I'll tell you why. And everyone here should always keep this in mind. Okay. In this case, who do you think is the customer? You're teaching. Yes, absolutely. The students are not the customers. It is the parent. The parent is the decision maker in this case. So in this case, the customer and the consumer are two different people. So if that is the case, who should you be writing the copy for? The customer, the parent. Absolutely. Always remember this, okay? So there will be many, many instances in which your customer and your consumer might be two different people. And this is a great example of that. If you're talking to other B2B companies also, that also might happen, where the decision maker and the person who might be using the tool or whatever you're offering might be different. So at the end of the day, your copy should be about the decision maker in this case, right? So your parents should do this thing. Unesh, I really like that, right? Learn amazing techniques of Vedic maths and make your child into a human calculator, even if your child hates math, right? That would be like so much more better because then you're talking to your customer. Of course, you can like polish it a little bit and then like talk to your customer. I immediately noticed it because you're trying to like see a student is not going to like no way on earth a tuition sorry, a student is going to voluntarily go to a tuition. Have you ever done it as a kid, as a student, that too to math tuition, right? Where you went to your parents and said that, hey, you know what? I want to go to tuitions for math too, right? Never, like, neither did I. Like, almost everyone like hated it. So you have to make sure, which is why I keep telling that understanding who your customer is very, very important, right? This is a great example of why that is a problem here, which is why I chose this. You have to talk to your parent. You have to talk to the customer, right? Always when you're writing your copy, optimize it for the customer. Not you can talk about your consumer later on, but you can talk about how it is going to benefit the consumer and how you as a customer can benefit because of that, right? So talk about that. So very, very important. I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. On my interaction with students, I realized that there are three types of students studying mathematics, or good scorers, or average scorers, or below average students. right? Things like that, right? So all of this is good. So here again, you're talking to the parent. So all of this is like really good. And this is also very nicely, understood the problem here. They do not get the right teacher. Inclination on learning. I would rather use the word studying, right? Inclination to studying rather than understanding. Lack of concentration. So these are the three problems. Very nicely put. I really like this, right? So this is a very good understanding of your problem and your customers, right? Amazing bonuses. Bonuses is also very good, but these are not exactly bonuses. So your bonuses should be as tangible as possible. Okay. Now, concentration techniques is tangible, but confidence is not exactly tangible. Would you guys agree with that? Can you measure somebody's confidence? You can't measure somebody's confidence, but you can definitely understand or see or feel rather that, hey, this person is becoming confident. So when you're talking about confidence, bonuses, make it tangible. So what you can, but I still like this section that you have written. So what you can talk about or how you can use this section is, what are the other things? What would you achieve from this course? This is what you should be like talking about, right? So this is what you will be achieving through the course. Apart from Vedic mathematics, this is what you will be achieving once you like go through that course. So I'm guessing this is an actual course because I see that there are like a bunch of different reviews and all of that happening. Okay, great stuff. I think that must have like been much more easier for you. Good, good. Good stuff. But I think not bad at all, especially for someone who's writing copy for the first time. You used a lot of very powerful words. You got the problems right, which I really, really liked. If you understand the problems, the only, I wouldn't say mistake, this was bound to happen because your customer and consumer is different. It's going to be tricky. So that is where you might have missed out on. But if you identify the customer properly, you will get it absolutely correct, right? You can then like go out there and like polish your landing page copy as much as you want, as much as you can. Did you show it to this person? Who and what's his name? Sorry, I forgot. Chetan. How did Chetan like this? I think if you haven't like, oh, he asked me to work on it. Okay, great. I think if you haven't like, you should go out there and change it. Oh, Pranav, do we have Pranav? But good stuff, Chiranjeev. Just type in GS in the chat box. If you guys have, if you guys like what Chiranjeev has done, I think he did a pretty decent job, a pretty good stuff, right? Just type in GS in the chat box. Encourage Chiranjeev as much as you can. The most affordable kick-ass electric guitars are finally here in India. I like it. I like that you use the word kick-ass electric guitars in India because Pranav is here. Okay, Pranav is here. Okay. Most affordable kick-ass electric guitars are finally here in India. Okay. I like the way you structured this headline, to be very honest, because since I know a little bit about electric guitars, I know that it can be pretty expensive. So which is why you're done with the objection right away, which you're saying that most affordable. But just because it's affordable doesn't mean it's cheap quality, which is why it is also kick-ass. That's what you've written. The most affordable kick-ass electric guitars are finally here in India. And what I like to point out here is that a lot of people might be thinking that, hey, can you use a word like kick-ass here in the landing page and all of those things? I think you can, because the people that will be actually buying a guitar, they will actually resonate with language like this, right? So which is why it's like really good, designed for the ambitious beginner. Now anyone can learn to play the guitar hassle free. The this is also good, designed for the ambitious beginner. Now anyone can learn to play the guitar hassle free. Now see, I don't like to use words like this, right? Hassle free. Things like this is like people have kind of like seen this so many times. The other word that I absolutely hate and detest with every ounce is like, one stop shop. every time I see that word, it's very cliche. Every time I see the phrase, rather, one-stop shop, I'll be like, oh my God, such a lazy copywriter, right? So it's like, it doesn't like, it's so boring. It's like very superficial. So don't use words like hassle-free. Try to make it even more, visualize it, try to help them visualize it even more. How does learning or playing hassle-free guitar look like? Can we talk about that? Talk about that instead of saying it. Show it to them. Does that make sense to everyone, not just to Pranav? Right? Instead of writing hassle-free, what does playing guitar hassle-free look like? You need to be talking about that. That will be able to, people will be able to like, uh, actually like resonate with it much better, right? So say for example, designed for the ambitious beginner. Now anyone can learn to play the guitar like a rock star. How about that, right? Or any guitarist that you can like or talk about, which you can like, which your audience might like relate to. Designed for the ambitious beginner. Now anyone can learn to play the guitar like a rock star. I feel that. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that that would be like even better? Because when you say rockstar, it almost immediately like you'll be able to like resonate with that, right? Again, guys, don't keep talking about where to start. Okay, I know I wrote it on my landing page. Don't just keep talking about where to start. Do you think that somebody buying a kick-ass electric guitar, the problem is where to start? No, somebody who's buying an electric guitar already knows how to play the guitar. And the problem is not that. The problem is not where to start at all. Nobody, from what I understand, Pranav, let me know if I'm wrong. Nobody starts with an electric guitar. Somebody starts with an acoustic guitar, learns how to play, and then upgrades themselves to probably a semi-acoustic, and then probably upgrades to an electric guitar. Your audience, this is what I spoke about. Understanding your audience is very, very important. The problem here is not where to start, right? Why are you talking about learning the guitar here? Here you're trying to sell electric guitars, but why are you talking about learning the guitar? You can actually use this in your subheading. I was addressing those people who want to begin with an electric. I think that's going to be a lot more difficult. Right? Again, if you even if you want to like address people who want to start learning with electric, you're not selling a course here, right? You're not selling a course, you're selling a guitar. That is what I'm trying to make a point here. You're not trying to sell the course, you're trying to sell the guitar. All of this is absolutely great. But the way you've written it is actually good. It's just that you got the audience wrong. It's very good. Your copy is good. It's very conversational. I can feel whatever you're writing. It's just that there is misalignment with your audience and other things. But all the other things, I feel that you got it right. Good stuff. Not bad. Not bad at all, but I still don't see all the elements of a landing page, but I still like the copy, right? I think then you've done like a pretty decent job at it, and you should be talking, go back and work on your audience and then like rework on this copy. I think you can do a much better job, right? So I think you got most of the things right. I really like how you have written everything. It's beautiful, but I feel that there is like misalignment between like who you want to talk about and who not to talk about. Okay, one last one. Sonali, do we have Sonali here? 5-day job-oriented personal development workshop. Master personal development tricks for a job in 5 days. WhatsApp class doesn't matter even if you haven't mastered the English language. Do you think somebody coming in for a personal development workshop is worried or bothered about the English language, Sonali? This question is for everyone also. You can also like put in your thoughts, your opinions. That is the first. In that case, you should not call your workshop personal development, to be very honest. This is not personal development in the case. You should be talking about something else. You should probably say 5 days job oriented communication development workshop, right? This is not personal. What do you guys think? Everyone else, you can also like, this is like a community effort, right? Would you say personal development or communication development? Communication skills workshop, right? I think that communication skills would be a much better thing. 100% this is part of the personal development journey, but I feel that there is a misalignment over there. I feel that you can always try it out and like, how many people feel that this is correct or how many people feel that communication skills? If you think personal development is correct, just type in P. If you say communication skills, just type in C in the chat box. Oh wow, look, I think most people agree with communication skills, Sonali. I think you should probably look into this, to be very honest. Right? This is the best part about this program, right? You get like feedback from everyone here who is there. Live and practical, learn by doing. English is the jugular objective if you talk about communication development or soft skill development. That's a better word. Soft skill development, not personal development. Personal development is something different, to be very honest. To be smart and successful, have an impressive personality, have a great job, and lead a successful corporate lifestyle. But I know that you're having self doubts whether you can make it big, whether you can realize your dreams because you lack mastery of over English language. I think the problem is the headline, Sonali. You mull over this self doubts and struggle with low confidence. I think you hit everything right. All of this is absolutely correct, right? Uh, but only I'm having a problem with the word personal development. Not bad, but this is like really good. It's just that, again, this is my opinion. You can still, do you actually have this workshop, Sonali? Let me know in the chat box. Or is this an actual workshop from someone? Sonali, hello. Or to Sonali. Okay, good. I would suggest you like rename the workshop a little bit, then you can probably talk about other things in the workshop, but I would recommend doing that. But having said that, I think this is great stuff. I think you've done a good job. Apart from all of these things, I think Sonali here has done really a great job here. Just type in GX in the chat box if you too feel that just apart from that headline, everything else she got it right. Right? Just type in GS Sonali in the chat box if you feel that she's done like a great job. Right? Just give it more thought, understand your audience a little bit more, and then probably you can like take care of it. Okay, I know that I spend a lot of time on this feedback. I hope you guys are okay with it because I feel that this is the most important aspect of this program. Just let me know in the chat box if you guys are okay with it. If you find this valuable, right, this feedback most necessary, okay, this is required, okay, just type in valuable or how you feel about it. Okay, great. Again, I really hope you guys understand also that I can't do it for every landing page copy because then we'll be like spending the entire night together, right? So we'll just like figure out like 4 or 5, see what are the common problems, and then like, understand if you have done the same problems, go back and fix it. Okay. So just make sure that that is the whole idea of feedbacks and like making sure that you guys are on the right path. Okay. That was fun. I really enjoyed reading all the landing page copies. That was really nice also. And I hope you guys also had fun going through the entire process. Let me know in the chat box. All right. So how about we take it easy for this week, right? So Mohan, I won't be giving individual feedback. It's going to like take a lot of time. And that qualitative feedback, again, the reason why I don't do that, I'll tell you guys. What I want to address is common mistakes that you people make. And most importantly, at the end of the day, whatever I tell you guys is my opinion. I might be wrong, 100% wrong, dead wrong. Okay. And I'm okay and I'm willing to accept it. The reason why I'm telling you this is at the end of the day, what matters is how does your audience respond to it? Okay, I can always tell how to make it better, but at the end of the day, you need to figure out how your audience responds to it. It has happened to me that I have written very flowery, beautiful copy for everyone and then like put it out there. What happened? Tanked, fell flat on its face. Okay, so but the one that I actually thought will not work worked really, really well because it connected with the audience better. So at the end of the day, my opinion is just that, my opinion. Having said that, I still want to make sure you don't make certain mistakes while doing it, but I cannot and I do not want to get into giving you like exact feedback, which is why this program is all about quantitative, right? You make sure that you finish it. As long as you actually finish it, you know, you go from 0 to 1 in this program. You just go to 0 to 1. If you know how to go from 0 to 1, going from 1 to 100 is very easy. Believe me when I say this. How many people agree with that? Right? That is how and why I've designed the program like this. Right? It's all about going from 0 to 1. If you know how to go from 0 to 1, 1 to 100 is all about repeating it and then making sure you improve along the way and keep on doing it. As long as you keep on doing it, you'll start identifying all the different problems and issues that you might have along the way. Great, great, great. Okay, it's already 8:50, guys. Let's get started with the how-to guide. Okay, so this week we're going to learn how to create a how-to guide. And I personally like it. And we are going to be using the well-known six-step content framework. How many people know this six-step content framework here? Type in me in the chat box. If you know the six-step content framework, know in the chat box. If you don't know the six-step content framework, it's absolutely okay because we will be learning how to use the six-step content framework which I have created, and I personally enjoy writing and creating content in the six-step content framework itself. Don't worry if you don't know this, you'll be learning in this particular session today. So, how to guide. Okay. Now, why should you write a how to guide? Now, in any niche that you are operating in, there will be a question of how to do X, Y, Z. Would you guys agree with that? Just type in yes in the chat box, right? Any niche that you are talking about, it doesn't matter like what niche you are in, your audience will have a question of how to do XYZ, how to do ABC, right? And that happens because one of the main reasons why people turn to the internet is to learn to do something. How many people would agree with that? And there is data to prove this also, okay? There's data to prove this. The number of queries on Google, which are questions, especially questions with how, has doubled in the past like 5, 6 years, right? Which basically is a great testimony to the fact that, you know what, people turn to the internet to look for information, to learn how to do something. But because they want to learn how to do something and they don't know how to do that, they're looking for how to guide. And because when you create this content and give it to them, it is probably one of the most simplest and most effective way to gain authority and credibility in your niche. Because you're teaching them how to do something, you are providing value in a very easy manner to your audience and developing that trust and developing that brand also. Because you have taught them something as to how to do a certain task or how to do a certain something, you have automatically created that value. People look at you as authority. People look at you with a lot more credibility than other people, right? So That is exactly why you should be writing a how-to guide wherever you are putting it across. Okay, so make sure you put it across your content, your copy, put it across out there, put it out there, put it on Medium, put it on your blog, put it on LinkedIn, put it wherever you want, just put it out there. Like I said, getting your feedback from your audience is extremely important. Okay, very, very important. So the more you do it, do not be afraid of getting that feedback. That feedback is very crucial, right? So the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Now, how do you actually do it though, right? So we'll be doing two things here. In this case, does somebody want to give me a niche or a topic that you want to like talk about and find out what are the different questions that people have? And we'll be using our beloved Ahrefs. Give me better topics, guys, not cars. Don't like fixing stuff. Fitness, what in fitness? Give me a how to topic in fitness. Okay, recipes. What kind of recipes? Okay, let's do recipes. How to make a cheesecake. Great, Sean. I love cheesecakes. God, that is my weakness. Anybody wants to gift me anything, just send me cheesecake, okay? Let's find out how to make cheesecake. So what you do is basically first things first, you come to this tool called Ahrefs Keyword Generator, right? How many people have used this tool? People who have been part of my other programs might have used this tool already, and people who might not have used it. So I'll be giving you the links to all of these things. Okay, Ahrefs Keyword Generator. It's an absolutely free tool to use. So what this tool does is basically collects all the queries that people put into Google, and it also shows you how many people actually put in this query also. So that's also very, very important, right? For you to actually assess and understand whether or not to write about a particular topic. I think I'm very interested to know how to, what is that? How to make a cheesecake? Okay, how to make a cheesecake. Or how to bake a cheesecake would be more appropriate, I guess. How to bake a cheesecake. So click on find keywords. Oops. I think, okay, classic mistake I made. Okay, so what you need to do is instead of putting in the exact questions like that, to put in a topic first. Okay, so let's put in cheesecake. Oh, there you go. Now you get all the questions around this particular topic. So once you click on the questions here in this tab, you will then be able to see all the questions that people have. So instead of starting, very narrow, start very broad and then narrow it down with the questions. Does that make sense, guys? That's very important, okay? So if you start very narrow, you will actually miss out on a lot of opportunities out there. So start broad and use the questions to narrow down whatever people have. Okay, so that's exactly what I did, right? Cheesecake, and then like that was a classic mistake, and I'm glad I did that so that I can show you guys what you can potentially be doing, right? How to make cheesecake at home. That's a great, great, keyword, right? How to make cheesecake at home. And I feel that even this is a great keyword here. How to make cheesecake in cooker, right? Because a lot of people might not have an oven, so they might actually go out there and like how to make cheesecake in cooker. How to make cream cheese frosting for red velvet cake. Wow, very specific, very nice. My mouth is watering right now, but anyway, how to make veg cheesecake, also really good stuff, right? Now you guys know how to like find out all the questions that you have. Now let's try to say how to make cheesecake at home. Okay, how to make cheesecake at home probably is the keyword here. So what I want you to do is not just stop here, but go a step further. Okay, how do you go a step further, and what do I mean by going a step further? Is go to Google and put in that question. Okay, put in that question, you'll see all of these. Okay, let's do it like this, and you will see all of these things that you will, the recipes that are here and everything. If you scroll down, you will actually see people also ask over here, right? You'll see people also ask, and this is very, very important because you will find all the related questions to your questions, and which you can actually go out there and use as talking points in your content and address all of these questions also. Okay, so now very good question that needs to be addressed, right? Which cheese is used in cheesecake? I think that's a great question that you should be addressing when you're talking about cheesecake recipes, right? Would you guys agree with that? How do you make cheesecake at home video? What is cheesecake filling made of? How do you make cheesecake without cream cheese? That's also good. So if you want more questions, just click on one of the questions, close it back. Can I make cheesecake without sour cream? I don't know. Can I use milk instead of cream in cheesecake? That's a good question to address, right? Close it back. Can I use sour cream? Okay. Again, what is a healthy substitute for cream cheese? That's also a great question, right? What can be used in place of cream cheese in a recipe? Close it back. Can I use soft cheese? What is a good non-dairy substitute for cream cheese? Look at all of these questions. These are great questions that you can address in your recipe as to how to make cheesecake at home, right? Would you guys agree with that? I think these are great questions. And I'm definitely biased over here because I definitely love cheesecake. But having said that, I feel that these questions might be there in my head, but I might not be aware of these questions. But when I see a blog or a piece of content that has already addressed all of these questions before I even knew that I had these questions, I am going to be very, very happy as a consumer. Just type in cheesecake in the chat box if you guys agree with that, right? If I find all of the information like this before I even knew that I wanted this information, I'm going to be a very happy person when I read this content, right? What you're doing is you're actually creating a very in-depth piece of content. You are giving them in-depth piece of information around cheesecake. And this is not just going to be about cheesecake, right? So let's say, for example, cookies and cups. Let's open this and see if these guys have actually figured this out and addressed all of these things, right? Okay, so what's in this cheesecake? There's only recipe, how to make the cheesecake, step 1, step 2, 3, blah, 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 all of these kind of things. And then, water bath, easy method. See, this is good. Tips for best cheesecake, okay? How do I know my cheesecake is actually, this is a good piece of content, but I still see that a lot of the questions that we actually found out has not been addressed in this piece of blog post. I mean, it might have been addressed for the sake of this argument. Let's just assume that it has not been addressed. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that there is an opportunity for you as a content creator. Agreed? Type in A in the chat box if you agree with that. There is an opportunity for you as a content creator to create that authority and establish that credibility because you have understood your user in a better manner, right? So which is why it is very, very important that you make sure that you understand all the questions that people have and address them in your content. I feel that these guys have done a pretty decent job and actually pretty good job. And I feel that, this is probably a bad example to put my point across, but you got my point across, right? Okay, I'm going to shut off the screen because I'm definitely very hungry right now and I haven't had my dinner also. So after that, and like I said, once you do your keyword research with Ahrefs keyword generator and people also ask, also do your competitive research, which is what I made the point, right? So your how-to guide should be the most comprehensive, right? It has to be the most comprehensive. Like I said, if once you find out all the questions that people might have, go out there and address all of them. And empathy is crucial. If you can, please go out there. And I think you should. Okay, not if you can, you should use forums like Quora and FB groups to understand misconceptions and possible confusions of people when it comes to, say, for example, making a cheesecake, right? So what are the different problems and misconceptions and confusions that people have around cheesecake? And when you go to Quora and FB, that is like real life and real people asking real questions. That will actually allow you to develop that empathy even more, create a user persona if necessary. Okay, create a user persona if necessary. Everybody knows the full form of KISS, KISS. When it comes to content creation, a lot of people use this, right? KISS. Just type it in the chat box if you know what KISS stands for. Okay, a lot of people don't know about it also. So what? Keep it short and simple. That's also correct. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Devani said that is a more common version of it. Keep it simple, stupid, right? But what I say, I actually changed it for my own benefit, and you guys should also follow this, okay? Instead of keep it simple, stupid, I say keep it stupidly simple. Okay, you see the difference over there, right? Keep it stupidly simple. Just type in KISS in the chat box if you understood that, right? Keep it stupidly simple, so stupidly simple that even a 5-year-old can understand it and actually go out there and make cheesecake. Got it? So whenever you're creating content, especially a how-to guide, you have to talk to the lowest denominator of your audience and then address your highest numerator also. But having said that, your lowest denominator of your audience who may not understand what you're talking about, how can you make it stupidly simple, so simple that anybody out there can understand and actually implement what you are asking them to do? Okay, keep it stupidly simple. So assume that your audience may not understand, and which is why, again, empathy is crucial, understanding your audience is crucial. All of these are like, again, we are coming back to the same point again and again and again, right? But every single Thursday at 8 p.m., I'm going to keep saying this, okay? Understand your audience, understand your audience, understand your audience, understand your audience, understand your audience. Okay, every single week I'm going to tell you this because that is the difference between good content and absolutely mind-blowingly great content. Your empathy towards your audience is what makes your content great. Okay, now once you've done all of these things, now comes the format itself, which is basically I also talk about like keep it stupidly simple is because what happens, what I've observed in a lot of how-to guides, especially if that how-to guide is technical, but what happens is people sometimes tend to show off how much they know rather than teach people what they need to know. How many people have come across something like that, right? You might have come across a piece of content or some how-to guide wherein this person is trying to show off or demonstrate how much he or she knows rather than actually teaching how to do whatever you came here to do it, right? That is that disconnect between the person who's writing and the audience, which is why keep it stupidly simple is very, very important. Okay, it's your job here is to not demonstrate how amazing you are. Everybody knows how amazing you are. Okay, so don't use this opportunity to demonstrate that and showcase it to the world. Your idea here is to make sure you understand the audience and like break it down to the most simplest of things, right? And I think somebody on my LinkedIn that day said that, and I keep telling this to people, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I didn't say that. Leonardo da Vinci said it. And I completely understand by what he means by that. Because trying to make something simple is very complex. That's the irony of life. How many people would agree with that? Just let that sink in. Type in true in the chat box if you agree with that. Trying to make something simple is very complex. And if you are successful in making something very complex, very simple, you have unlocked, you have the key to your audience's heart. Okay, always keep this in mind. Don't try to like, it's not easy, but that is your job. That is the objective here when you're creating, right? Especially, when you're doing this. Karan says, hope you do that for us through your workshops. Do you think that I'm doing it through these sessions? Let me know in the chat box if I'm doing it or not. I'm trying to like simplify everything that you guys are doing. Okay, let me know if I'm not. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the 6-step content framework? Okay. So the 6-step content framework is as follows. Number 1, you have the headline. Number 2, you have the introduction. Number 3, you have the what. Number 4, you have the why. Number 5, you have the how. And number 6, you have the conclusion. This is the 6-step content framework. You can actually use it for any blog post, any slide deck, YouTube video, infographic, whatever that is there. You can actually use this 6-step content framework out here, but we will be using the 6-step content framework in this session. Primarily, we will be using it in future sessions also, but in this session, especially because we will actually be talking about the how-to guide, right? But before we get into that, your headline is very, very important, right? I've been telling you guys last week also, I told this week also, I'm going to tell again, your headline is extremely important. Your headline can make or break your content. So make sure today you saw the difference between a great headline and the not so great headline, a generic headline, right? So don't go for a generic headline, go out there and make sure you write amazing headlines. I'm going to like, have I shown everybody has seen the potent headline generator? Everybody has seen this? I've shown you guys this, no? Just give me a yes, no in the chat box real quick. Okay, everybody knows it. Great. I think I've shown it in the webinars also, right? So make sure you use this tool to come up with your headlines. Okay, so you can just like put in your topic here, say cheesecake, right? If you read one article about cheesecake, read this one. If you click on see another title, saving your marriage using only cheesecakes. Okay, click on another. Why our world would end if cheesecakes disappeared. My world would end if cheesecakes disappeared for sure. A foolproof guide to cheesecake. That's a great title. 12 reasons cheesecakes are the weakest link. Again, like I guys told you, like I told you guys, this tool that you see here can be very silly, can be sometimes, but what I want you to understand here, the way I want you to use this tool is basically try and understand why a particular headline works, break it down and use it for your own content and make sure it aligns with how your content is. If your content is serious stuff, right? If your content is serious stuff, make sure your headline is also serious. If it is funny, casual, you know, a little offbeat, make sure if the tone is aligned with your listening, because plenty of times I've seen that people come and just like copy paste it and slap it over there. Makes no sense whatsoever, right? First of all, it needs to make sense. Second, it needs to be grammatically correct, and the tone of your headline and your content needs to match. Type in 3 in the chat box if you guys got all of these 3 things. Okay. Number 1, it needs to make sense. Number 2, it needs to be grammatically correct. Number 3, the tone of your headline needs to match with the tone of your content that you're going to be writing. Okay. So use this tool. I'll be sending you the my repository of my headline swipe file also. You can use the swipe file also to like go out there and like come up with different headlines. And very, very important to come up with multiple headlines so that out of all the 10, 20 headlines that you will be creating, you can choose the best headline and put it to your blog. Okay. Once you do that, you have the introduction, which is basically if the job of your headline is to attract attention, the job of your introduction is to retain that attention. Okay. Now, how do you retain that attention? You basically use something called as the ARB formula. What is the ARB formula? ARB formula stands for attention, reason, and benefit. Okay. You need to retain that attention. Now, how do you retain that attention? You retain that attention by using a story, by giving them a shocking statistic, by asking one thought-provoking question. Don't ask too many questions, but a thought-provoking question, not like some simple question that it's obvious what the answer is. Okay, a thought-provoking question, a story, an anecdote, or a shocking statistic. Sorry. So this is how you actually retain the attention once people come into your blog post, right? 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds to convince them that, hey, you know what, this blog post is going to be interesting, educative, informative, or whatever it is, right? You need to convince, you have 5 seconds to convince your readers. And if you're not able to convince your readers with your attention, you're going to like go out of it. Okay. So with attention, you can either start with a thought-provoking question. What else? Just type it in the chat box. I spoke about it, right? Story. Now, the story can be a personal story also in the form of an anecdote, or it can be something else. And it needs to be a shocking statistic. Okay. So these are 4 different ways in which you can also talk about, mention a quote also. Something very interesting. Okay. Don't use like cliched quotes out there. So the reason why I'm saying all of this, very, very important to make sure that you actually capture that attention. Okay. So that's how you do it. Now, reason is, why are you writing this piece of content? Okay. Why are you writing this piece of content? One of the reasons can be that, say, for example, going with the cheesecake itself, I felt that, I did not find the right cheesecake recipe which I can make at home. This is why I'm writing it. Does that make sense? Right? I found a problem which I could not find the right solution for, which is why I am writing this particular piece of content, right? That is your reason. And then benefit is basically how are they going to benefit once they are done reading this piece of content. Okay, so attention, reason, and benefit. That is how you are going to write your introduction, A or B. Just type in A or B in the chat box if this makes sense. Type in A or B in the chat box if this makes sense. Fantastic. Okay, so you're done with your headline, you're done with your introduction. Now comes the what. In the what, you're basically describing the topic you're talking about, and more importantly, what it's not. Okay, we spoke about the misconceptions and all of that, which you might find in like Quora or in people also ask and everything, right? So here you need to talk about, okay, what is a cheesecake? I'm going to use a cheesecake example throughout this section. Okay. So now what is a cheesecake? Because the reason why you should be talking about what it is, people might have a very different idea about the topic that you're talking about. And to make sure that both of you are on the same page, it is best that you actually describe what you think is the topic about, or basically what you're talking about, basically the topic. Make sure that you guys are on the same page, and you can also mention about what it's not. Okay, so basically whatever misconceptions that people might have, get rid of it right there, right? If there are any misconceptions, there might not be any misconceptions. Like say, for example, with the cheesecake, there might not be any misconceptions. If there are any misconceptions, make sure you address it. Okay, and you basically describing the what here, what the topic is about, and then the why. Why does it matter, and how is it going to benefit them? And is this the right thing for them? Right? Well, in the cheesecake example, why should you be even baking a cheesecake? Right? Because it's tasty, because it's easy to make. You can keep it in the fridge for a very long time. You can like do a bunch of different things. So you need to understand all of these things. Okay, why, the why behind the topic, is it the right thing for them, and the how, step by step, clear instructions of how you're actually going to implement whatever you're going to be doing. Now, this is not going to be, I'm just using the cheesecake example, guys. It can be used for any topic out there. Okay, any topic out there, and use. A lot of people are going to order cheesecake. I'm going to be ordering cheesecake. I'll put a photo if the cheesecake comes to training. So I don't know if Swiggy comes through or not. I'll be putting it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, to make sure that whatever you guys are ordering tonight, just put in the photograph and put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, let's see if you are like actually like gotten it. Okay, step by step, clear instructions. Now, this is where keep it stupidly simple comes into the picture. Okay, very clear instructions, very clear instructions in terms of how to actually implement the solution that you're talking about, right? Or the topic that you're talking about. How do they do it in the most simplest of instructions? And please use images wherever necessary. Wherever you can, if you can reinforce that, please use instructions, images wherever necessary. Explain with examples if you can, and link out to other resources also. It's absolutely okay to link out to other resources. In fact, I recommend that you link out to other resources also. Then in the conclusion, summarize the entire post and have a call to action. That is the 6-step content framework. What do you guys think about it? Please let me know in the chat box. In the meantime, I'll open up an example for you guys. Do you think that it's easy for you guys to like use the 6-step content framework to actually structure a blog or any piece of content for that matter? Right? So I'm going to show you guys an example. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Absolutely. Right. So how to start a blog in India, Mega Guide 2021 edition. Right. So again, I'm trying to use the word mega, and I'm also trying to like use the word 2021 edition. Now, what am I communicating here? Does anyone want to take a guess? Right. Mega and 2021. Not time period. latest, it's updated. Basically, it's updated, right? So what I've done here is basically I've used a certain quote, and I've actually mentioned it here also, right? You know, the best time to start a blog was 10 years ago, but do you know the second best time to start a blog? Today, right? The Chinese proverb, I made it into my own, go ahead, sue me, but and all of those things. I basically start off. This is how you like capture the attention, right? Right away. You need to make sure that you're like getting them. A thought-provoking question is what I've used here, and then basically like I'm talking about the reason, like my blog became my outlet to express my opinion, articulate my thoughts, and share them with others. It allowed me to influence. Now I want you to feel it too, right? I'm going to guide you step by step through the entire process. So by the time you're done reading this, you'll know the path to take to set up your own blog, right? So now do you see how the ARB actually translates in an introduction? Let me know in the chat box if it makes sense now, right? Attention, reason, benefit, right? It can also be the benefit, right? Does that make sense? Just type in MS in the chat box if that makes sense, right? This is how you actually write an introduction, right? ARB, attention, reason, and benefit. Now, what is a blog? That is what I'm talking about. Ignore this for a minute. You can also talk about this, but in this case, this is actually a very big blog post, right? So, which is why I like try to address most of the questions people have, but you don't have to like write such a big blog post. So, what is a blog? First of all, right? Again, like I said, a lot of people might have misconception about what a blog is, and that is why I'm actually trying to address it. Now, as I'm talking about here, what I'm talking about misconception. Now, when I say blog, you must be thinking about sites like Bix or Blogger, where you can set up a free blog on a subdomain like abcd.bix.com. But I won't be talking about such free blogs in this blog post. I will be talking about setting up your self-hosted WordPress blog. Does that make sense now? What I mean by the misconceptions that people might have, right? I want to make sure that we are on the same page, right? I want to make sure that, hey, you know what? We are going to be talking about a self-hosted WordPress blog here. You type in MS in the chat box if that makes sense, right? And then, is blogging worth it? This is basically the why, right? Why should I blog? Is it worth it? A lot of people will have this question, right? Is blogging dead and all of these kind of things, right? So I'm trying to use an external link, an external resource, a more authoritative figure in this space to actually prove my point, right? So I'm actually convincing that, hey, you know what? This is actually a good path. Is this right for you? This is what I'm doing here. Is blogging worth it? Is blogging right for you? Right? So I've gone into detail in making them understand that, hey, you know what? Blogging is great. These are all the reasons why blogging is great and things like that. And then how to find your niche in blogging, and then like how setting up your hosting step by step. Then what are the different things that you can do, things to consider before buying a domain name, blah, 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 how to add a new theme, step by step, list of must-have plugins, how to come up with blog post ideas, blah, blah, blah. Again, I've spoken about the 6-step content framework here also, and things to keep in mind to grow your blog, right? So this is basically how I've used the 6-step content framework in this particular blog post, wherein I'm talking about how to start a blog, right? So meta, right? So as you can see, this is how you actually go out there and use the 6-step content framework and use all of these things. It's actually, I think 6,000 words, not like not 3,000 words. It's like a 6,000 word blog post, but you guys don't have to write about the 6,000 word blog post, so don't worry about it at all. But you guys definitely have to write a blog post. So who's ready for an assignment? Fantastic. Pretty simple. I'm not gonna like stress you guys as I did for the last week. So the assignment is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Use the 6-step content framework. I want you guys to use all the elements of the 6-step content framework, your headline, your introduction, the what, the why, the how. Okay, come up with at least 20 headlines, and out of those 20 headlines, choose one headline that makes sense, grammatically correct, and is aligned with. So all your 20 headlines need to actually satisfy this criteria. And out of all of those 20 headlines, you then go ahead and choose one that you feel is the best option for your blog post, and then choose that one, this thing, okay? And minimum 1,000 words, you need to be adding at least 4 images. list out. You just need to list out 3 competitors, because like I told you guys, it's very important to know how many of your competitors, or how much have they actually covered and how much they have not covered. So to make sure you guys have actually done it, I want you to list out, just link 3 competitors that you got while you are doing your research. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and this will be your assignment for this particular week. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions in the chat box, Q&A box. So please ask a question in the Q&A box, and we will wrap it up after the Q&A. Let's go. Wow, no questions. Do we have to develop a user persona as well? Not as part of the assignment, okay? Not as part of the assignment, but I strongly recommend that you do. Even otherwise, like I said, understanding your assignment is, understanding your audience is very crucial. So the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. So there's no harm in doing it. So if you can, please go out there and do it, but it's not part of your assignment. So it's absolutely okay even if you don't do it, but make sure you do it, okay? Yeah, you can choose any topic, even if it's affiliate marketing. No, you don't need original images. Guys, please ask questions related to this session, okay? Not to previous sessions and all those things. Do we need original images? You don't need original images. You can use, there are plenty of, you can just Google it, okay? So for the sake of this assignment, just use Google Images. It's absolutely okay for you to do that. This is not pillar content. This is a how-to guide, okay? How to find the competitors. There is this amazing website called Google. So please use that to find it, okay? Just type in the keyword that you're putting in and see who shows up and see how much they have written. Okay, that's what I meant by competitors. That's it. Just put in the topic that you're writing and see what others have written. How to guide. A blog post can also be a how to guide, right? A blog post is a collective term for all the different kinds of content that we'll be writing. 100% you'll have competitors. I can guarantee you that, right? So just guys, once you've chosen the topic, just put in that topic in Google, check out all the people who have already written your content and see what they have written. That's it. Okay. So Ajay, just go to Google, how to start a business. Okay, I'll show you guys. Right, how to start a business. Don't skip all of these ads. Now you have this one, 10 steps to starting a business. Then you have HubSpot. Then you have Business News Daily. You have Oberlo. You have Shopify. You have Startup India. So you have all of these blogs that have actually written a piece on how to start a business, right? So the idea is to go through them and try to see if you find any gaps and therefore any opportunities for you to like fill that gap in your own content. Does that make sense now, guys? Why am I not getting any emails about recording sessions? Oh, please send us support. Guys, one more thing. If you have any issues, right? If you have any issues with anything, first of all, use the WhatsApp group to figure out the issue. And I see that plenty of amazing people are helping each other out. So try to resolve that issue right there. If you can't resolve it, send an email to support@sanjayshinai.com. Okay, not to my email address, hello@sanjayshinai.com. Support@sanjayshinai.com. We have a dedicated support team which is actually going to help you resolve your issues. Okay, if you don't have, say for example, Ekta is not getting any emails, just send an email to us so that we can see what's the mistake over there or what's happening over there and fix that issue for you. So please make sure you send. So because last time I saw that a lot of people had issues with something and they're sending me emails, and I had to like make sure that I tag my support team, and then they had to like jump in and like resolve all of the issues. Okay, make sense? No, just link to your competitors. That's it. Just copy your link like this, copy and paste it in your sheet. That's it. You don't have to do a literature review. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what it is, to be very honest. Like basically to identify gaps and then write on that. Yeah, cashback should be delivered by Friday. So you guys submitted an assignment yesterday. So that assignment's cashback, you'll get it next week. Okay, so by next Wednesday, you should be getting your cashback. By next Thursday, you should be getting your cashback. So we take time to actually assess your assignment, right? So obviously we can't assess so many assignments in like 2 days. So it's going to take some time. And then once we assess it, in 7 business days after you submit your assignment, you'll actually get your cashback. Understood? Just type in, if you have any other questions, just put it in the Q&A, please. Yeah, for batch two, it's going to be a second assignment. Like I said, guys, this is a rolling batch, okay? So you will finish 10 weeks. Don't worry about it. It's like a circular thing. And then it's, if you're batch two, then this is the second assignment. If you're batch one, this is your fourth assignment. Deadline is next Wednesday, uh, which is, I think, 28 July, 11:59. Do we need to stick to the niche all the time? Mukul, I don't mind you going away from the niche, but it's recommended that you stick to the niche as much as possible. But if you want to explore other things, feel free to do that. Prepick and Unsplash are good enough, Agula. So if you want to use Google for this particular assignment, you can. Okay. Yeah, if for week two for batch one, guys, you should be getting your cashback by tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'll try to give you guys more references, whichever I feel is following the structure. Basically, I come up with this entire structure, and if somebody else is following the structure, I'll give you the reference, because otherwise you guys will get confused. So I don't want to do that. Which is why whichever I feel or what I have written, I share it with you guys. I can share other things, but it's going to be very difficult. Then you guys are going to be very confused about it also. Yeah, why not? All right. I think let's wrap it up. I use ConvertKit, Drishan. I'm trying to move to Active Campaign soon, but yeah, I use ConvertKit. Quora and FB groups is like a good place for you to start. I can't think of anything else right now, but I think it's a great place to start. Jyotiripo will get to pillar content and all that later on. Okay, you'll learn how to do that. What tools do you want? Use this anonymous attendee, first of all. Answer the public, you mean, Mukul. You can use answer the public also, but it's going to give you only 2 chances. So unfortunately, you can't go beyond that. Okay, fantastic, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. I hope you guys learned something new as always. I hope you guys are excited to go out there and implement it. And I hope you guys are, you know, keen to go out there and have some cheesecake at least tonight or over the weekend. And let me know whatever you guys are going to be doing. And then we'll be like meeting you guys again next Thursday. Like I said, please make sure that you guys are going to start your assignment ASAP. Okay. And of course, this assignment is pretty easy compared to last week. So I thought we'll keep it a little light this week, considering how heavy the last week was. But having said that, it's going to be a lot of fun if you start as soon as possible and actually put in the effort to make sure you bring out the quality also, and try to make some mistakes, and like we'll all learn together and we'll all grow together also. So thank you very much for coming in today, and I hope you guys had fun. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great night, have a great rest of the week and the weekend. I'll see you guys next Thursday at 8 p.m. Thank you so much. Bye bye.